What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're working on the Avalanche. We're doing the brake pads on the rear end here. We're also, in today's episode, I'm going to show you guys when we went to pick up the three-wheeler contraption thing. But first thing is going to be jacking this thing up, getting the lugs cracked, and getting this wheel off to start working on getting the calipers off. Alright, so we're under the truck here, and as you can see, right where that shock comes down from, right behind it, I got a good spot. I can jack this thing up. We are going to put jack stands on once we get it up high enough. So now that I know I have a good spot to jack this thing up, we're going to go crack our lugs and bring her up, get a jack stand under it, and go from there. Alright, so we got these lug nuts cracked loose. I ended up, you have to use a 7/8. I used a deep well socket with a impact adapter on the breaker bar. Probably shouldn't use an adapter, but it's alright. Got these cracked loose, so now we're gonna jack this thing up, and I'll show you guys where I have it, where I have the jack. Then we're gonna slide jack stands under it, and we'll get started on tearing this apart more to get the new brake pads in. Just like that, wheels off. As you can see, I got the jack there, and I do have a jack stand. It's not, of course, touching that sway bar there, but it'll still be good if something were to fail with the jack. So next step's going to be getting our caliper off and compressing our brake caliper so we can get those pads out and get them replaced. I got figured out. It's this bolt here, and there's one on the underside. And you have to use a 13/16 wrench on there's a little nut right here, and then a 13mm socket to get that bolt loosened up. I did have to use the breaker bar to get them loosened up. But from here, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get the bolt out with the nut, and we're gonna get this caliper pulled off. So, well, first we're gonna compress our caliper piston, whatever you wanna call it, in there, get it compressed. Then we'll pull the caliper off, get our brake pads replaced, and we'll go from there. All right, so there was, like I said, the two bolts here and on the bottom side. I ended up just taking our flathead. We were able to get it compressed a little bit, and I was able to get this flathead right here. Took a little bit of convincing and wiggling, but I got our caliper off. So next step here is gonna be getting these brake pads off and getting them replaced. Shouldn't be too bad to get these things out. Looks like there is a lot of corrosion here though, but we should be able to clean this right up. Alright, so we ended up to get these brake pads off, partially because they were very seized on there, and being honest, we weren't 100% sure how they were supposed to come off. So we took off the entire bracket that was on here, and we got our old pads out. As you can see, they are a little rough looking, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to replace these ones. I don't know how much filming we're going to do on the other side just because it's starting to get dark, and we should probably get these done soon. So we're going to, I'm going to clean out the channels on the, this here, clean out these channels, so I got the wire brush, and then we're going to put in the new pads. We're going to put anti-seize on all the bolts and everything, so we're not having anything seized up again, and we're going to just put everything back together how it originally was. Alright, so we have here a C-clamp with a brake pad on there, and I'm just going to use this and tighten it until we got that compressed, so we can slip it over everything once we have our new brake pads on. So So we got the new brake pads on. It was a pain in the ass because we were being hard-headed, and
you were being hard-headed.
I was being hard-headed. I had to take out these little bracket things and clean out from under because there's corrosion, rust, whatever else. So clean those out. We got the new brake pads in. You might, depending on what brand and everything, you might have to grind down part of the up here. You might have to grind that down a little bit. Otherwise, though, they did fit pretty well.
And part of that's because of corrosion.
And like he said, part of that's from corrosion. So now I'm putting this bracket back on, then we'll get to putting this back on, and we'll be done. We should be about done from there. All right, so from here, what we did, I unzip tied the caliper from up here. Then you just take, I use a 13/16. I've seen people use 22 millimeter wrenches, but get a hold of the nut up here, and then it's a 13 mil in the back, and just make sure they're tightened down on there good. And then from here, all we should have to do is put our wheels back on, and we should be good from here.
Is unzip tied a real word?
I think so. If I can hit the hole.
Put a little hair around it.
That's what I'm thinking.
There you go. You learned a little something from your old man. Sit down and do it that way.
Well, there we go. Make sure we're on there. There. Then we can take our lug nuts. Well, is that right? All right, so I got the lugs on. Now I'm gonna tighten these. I'm not really pushing them down. I'm just getting them so they're basically finger tight, but I don't feel like tightening these the whole way with my fingers. And then I'm gonna get on a star pattern, get all these tightened, and then we're gonna torque them to spec. There we go.
You're kind of special because you did a couple of them twice.
Yeah, I know I did. I figured that out once I got them tightened. So now we're going to put the center cap on here, make sure the brakes work. Then we're going to time how long it takes us to do the other side still tonight. And hopefully it doesn't take us nearly as long now that we know what we're doing and someone isn't being as hard-headed as we were.
Okay, it's 7:21. We'll see how the mastermind does on the second side.
All right. First step here is going to be getting this thing jacked up. Over here we got the jack. Hold this. Get it right under there, same spot. Maybe.
On.
All right, let's bring this thing up some. Before we do go any more, I'm gonna go ahead and crack our lugs loose. All right, and then from there, got all those loosened. Get the impact with the 7/8 on it again. All right, so as you saw, I did start taking the lugs off and realized should have jacked the thing up more. So I got the thing up on the jack. Jack stands under it. I'm gonna finish taking off these lugs, and we'll be back into where the thought I had that one broke loose. All right. All right. All right. All right. And boom. Ooh, that one's shot. That one's so good. All right, so if any of you guys ever do this at home, I would recommend getting this bracket off and cleaning out the channels where those brake pads slide in, because we had to, and taking those clips out and cleaning out under those, because that's what we had to do with the original one. Here's that. And we couldn't get those in properly. So you can just take a flathead screwdriver and they should just pop right out after a little bit of convincing. There we go. And you'll just
see all the corrosion needs cleaned up.
Yeah, you just have to clean all that out from the inside. All right, we're still standing in the garage, but we got the new pads on. I can hold it up here. As you can see, fresh pads. I'm a little worried about the back one. It looks like it drug on the original set, so hopefully this set doesn't. Might be a future problem, but for right now, I think we'll be good. So let's cut back to reinstalling everything. And I also forgot to mention, we are currently sitting at 7:52, so we should have this done hopefully a little after 8, if not at 8 o'clock. We're not high enough.
Need to bump the jack.
Nope. Right there she sits.
Yes, Robbie, we are using a chrome socket on an impact.
And you can watch me do it again if you want. All right. Let's see if I can hit the hole. Alright, so before we go for a drive here to make sure everything's good, you always want to make sure you pump your brakes to make sure your caliper becomes uncompressed and you're good to go, so you actually have brakes in the rear. So you're just going to pump your foot pedal just a few times, make sure your brakes are good, and then you should be ready to drive. And those are feeling good, so I think we're ready to go for a drive here. Alright, so we're driving right now. Everything seems to feel good. Brakes are working, everything. It's 8:34 right now, and of course it's dark. But we got this job done about 8:20. You could take off probably 10 minutes or so because it was cold out, so we had to go in, warm our fingers up. So other than that, it took us, what, an hour-ish to do the job. One bad once we got everything figured out and how to do it properly.
And you stopped being hard-headed.
I think I was you being hard-headed, but... Alright, well, the drive home went good. Brakes seem good. I'm gonna cut here to us picking up the three-wheeler contraption thing, and then after that should be the end of the video. Today we're currently in Breezewood, Pennsylvania. We're going to look at a marketplace find. It's a three-wheeler bike thing powered by a 110 like pit bike motor. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much filming while we're there, but I'll pick you guys up once we're done. All right, so we did the deal. Here it is. It's got a 110 pit bike motor on it, as you can see. Let me zoom you guys out a little bit more here if I can. No, I can't. But definitely going to be a good project for the channel here. I'll pick you guys back up once we're at home and I can give you guys a better look at this thing before we work on it. Alrighty guys, we're home now. It's about a 45-minute-ish drive home. So sitting here, there it is. This thing is definitely a wild contraption. It looks like it's been sitting out, but it's going to take some work. I don't know if we're going to keep it, if we're just going to get the motor on and keep it as is, whether we're going to take the rear swing arm for this thing and put it on the orange mini bike. I'm not sure yet, or if I'm just going to put a different motor in it. We're not 100% sure what we're doing with it yet, but stay tuned. We'll definitely have videos coming out on this thing very soon. I'll go over it here quick. It's got the front end of it's a Huffy bicycle frame that looks like really all they did was they took off where the rear tire was and put a rear swing arm on, as well as 2 shocks here, and custom fabbed some stuff. It's got a 110 like pit bike motor in it, and of course exhaust runs to the back here. The thing, I think if we get it running, I think it'll move pretty good. So like I said, stay tuned. We'll definitely have more videos coming out on this thing soon. Like I said, I think it's going to be a fun project to work on, even if I just keep the frame and put like a Predator 212 or something like that into it. Might even take the rear tires, if we can get PVC around them. Maybe make it like a drift thing. I don't know 100% yet. So stay tuned. So as you guys saw, we picked up that 3-wheeler thing. We actually used the Avalanche. That's when we found out the problem with the brakes. So us getting that thing is partially why we did today's video too. So in next episode, hopefully we get working on that 3-wheeler thing soon. I've been kind of putting it off, but we should get working on it soon. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.